And Greg and Stephanie are off tonight. Smith admits to shooting young Dolph back in November of 2021, along with already convicted co-defendant Justin Johnson. It's now Govan's turn in court. WRG Shay Arthur was at court today, closely following along. And Shay, what's the very latest?
April and Alex, it's been a long day here in court. It started at 9:30 this morning, just wrapped up about 3 minutes ago, right before I stepped in front of this camera. Court done for the day. As we know this, we well know this, so many people closely following this case, not just here in Memphis, but really across the country. We can see that when we're here at the jail, at the Criminal Justice Center today, there is extra layers of security in order to make it up here to the floor where this trial is being held. You have to go through a second metal detector, be wanded out in order to get inside. All the seats in the gallery there in the courtroom are full. So much of this case, though, Alex and April, really resting on the testimony from Cornelius Smith. He was on the stand for hours today. He is the big star witness for the state. He admitted to shooting young Dolph, detailing what he says was Govan's heavy involvement in that hit.
Our choices can get us into trouble.
Opening statements in the case against 45-year-old Hernandez Govan. The prosecution says it comes down to choices. Choices he made to solicit Justin Johnson, an aspiring rapper, and Cornelius Smith, a man prosecutors say Govan sold various kinds of pills to, desperate for money to commit the murder of young Dolph at a cookie shop.
A choice to get two desperate people to agree to murder Adolph Thornton. A choice to guarantee them money. A choice to ask for a cut of that money. A choice to help one of the killers get his phone back after the murder.
But Govan's attorney questioned the credibility of Smith, saying Smith changed his story multiple times. He has a reason to lie as he hopes for a lesser sentence, and Govan is actually a victim himself, with cherry-picked evidence, and law enforcement needed an arrest in a high-profile case.
Just because he's a nobody and doesn't have money like Gotti or JOOK, his brother, who was never even questioned or charged. He's the phone guy in all this stuff. He didn't do anything.
Smith, who was in custody, requested to not have his face shown in court. He testified Govan asked him if he wanted to make some extra money, saying there were bounties on several members of young Dolph's record label, PRE, but young Dolph had the most at $100,000. He described a meeting at Govan's house with Big JOOK from rival record label CMG, who ultimately called for the hit, and Govan provided him a gun. He said following the meeting, he and Justin Johnson looked all over town for members of Dolph's record label, and the day before his murder, Dolph was spotted at a gas station. Smith saying, quote, "We knew Dolph was in town. We full-fledged now. We knew we could strike. We will get somebody." He said he called Govan. Govan told him, "Y'all do y'all thing. Handle business." Smith also testified following the shooting, he realized he had left his phone in the car they were in when they committed the murder, and Govan got the phone for him. Alex, April testimony. The trial set to begin tomorrow at 9:30. Of course, we'll keep you posted.
What you have to talk to this thing? We go on and on about her lying ass and all that other stuff. So the interesting thing there is you talked to your sister about a separate case here in Memphis, in the Holly Bobo case. You remember that?
Yeah, when I was writing my lawyer history, who my lawyer was, they were representing me or whatever, so I was just telling them like his history, who you all represented and stuff like that.
Okay. And it says, he being the lawyer, he said that's the only way I will not do life in jail and ECT Maine. What is ECT? Is that federal? Okay. Maine just got $50K for this. He's talking about one of the men in Holly Bobo case where they raped and killed her, period. You worked with them and they let him walk free. You remember saying that to your sister? So the idea was, this is in March, you're not intoxicated anymore.
No, I ain't intoxicated.
You're writing to her that if I work with the police, just like this guy that raped and killed a woman and walked free because he cooperated.
I actually don't know exactly what the guy did and what role the guy played that he represented. So I really didn't, and I didn't know the case very well as well, so I didn't know what was the outcome. I don't know what this case, because I didn't know the role. I just know he represented somebody on the case.
So when your family was reaching out to JOOK's lawyer, Arthur Foreman, and getting other
My
lawyers.
family didn't reach out to us.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to be accurate. Yes, your family reached out to Attorney Bailey, who then reached out to Arthur Foreman on their behalf to get the money and all this stuff. But then when Bailey pulled out of the case, you got the same lawyer that got the man in the Holly Bobo case off by cooperating, right?
Right.
Deputy, could you show this?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, if I could have it back there. And this is your handwriting, right? Okay. So again, I'll read it. He said that's the only way I will not be life in jail. And then you said he talking about one of the men in Hollywood Bobo case where they raped and killed her, worked with them, and they let him walk free. That's what you were saying to your sister about what you were going to do and what you expected to happen, right? That was your expectation.
Yeah, I was saying what my lawyer had, what my lawyer had did for their client, which I don't know that man role in the Holly Bobo case. I don't know what role he played in that case.
Okay.
So I don't know how he got to walk free. I don't know what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, what role he played when they wanted him jail for whatever. So I was just telling them what the history was.
Right, but you chose the one lawyer that you're talking about that said, this guy to cooperate and walk free on murder, and we're here on the murder, right?
Well, you got somebody walk free before, so I didn't know exactly what my lawyer did. Like, I was just telling them the history.
Okay, well, how do you know that Scott was ready to walk free before?
I heard about you, your lawyer.
Okay. I'm not sure how, we've never met, right?
I don't know, remember.
I did ask to talk to you.
TV.
Okay, and I have talked to you. I did ask to talk to you, stuff several times, right?
You asked to talk to me?
Yeah. Did your lawyer tell you that I called multiple times to try to talk to you before trial, and they said no, I couldn't talk to you? Remember that?
No, I don't.
Your lawyer didn't tell you that?
Yes, me on the road.
It's okay, I'll withdraw the question. Can I just have a moment there? You remember when I talked to you, it seems like a lifetime ago, where we talked about Gotti's. Okay. When you talked to the government, you said you were able to get your phone to your child's mother, so you gave her some evidence, and the police figured it out. Was that before or after the police were following you?
They were following me through it the whole time. I didn't know, but after I left my daughter's school, which was right around the corner from my mom, I thought it out.
Okay, because you didn't tell when the government asked you what happened next. But now you're saying after the school, you remember in your intoxicated state, you drove to your child's mother's house and left the important cell phone with her.
After I left her house, that's when I went to Family Dollar and got the technology to them. Because I knew they were following me. When I was in her apartment, they pulled a 5-car Jeep. I let it get on out of her. I went to Family Dollar, got the technology on, and then I get shot on out.
Okay, so let me get it straight now. So when you went to your child's mother's house, the slab is now your testimony that they were there 5 deep.
They pulled up 5 car Jeep. As I was out there talking to her, they were pulling in the apartments, and I told her to move, and I pulled on out.
Okay. So as you're at the apartment, you see the cops, they somehow just let you get away when
They
pull up?
come off, they do it more. They come off, I guess they're waiting on me to be somebody, make them move, I don't know. Why they ain't getting right then?
Do you remember telling Uncle Ron, your brother Quez, and all that, prior to all this, that after it happened, that Govan is a federal snitch and he may have put sort of a listening device in your jacket?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Okay. You remember at one of your many interviews, they showed you photos of weapons that could have been used at the time of the shooting. Remember that? You had to identify photos that they were showing you of guns.
Probably,
Okay. All right. I think this was one of the non-intoxicated interviews you said.
okay.
One of the guns that they showed you, you said was Justin's and it's old. Do you remember saying that?
You know, picture with it?
No, it was just a gun. They sort of did a gun lineup, I guess, if you were. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Right. You remember being shown an AK and some other handguns, and you said those are Angela's guns. You remember that?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
I remember being shown some guns, but I don't remember it.
All right. And it's your testimony, you know, even though you told the police that you met Justin sometime in the past through miscellaneous, you were too intoxicated. You have no idea how that name came into your mind to say, I met Justin with miscellaneous, right? This is random
I
thought.
was under the influence, I was under the influence.
I get all that.
If you ask the police that interview me, they'll tell you that they had to hold me up to go to the restroom.
Right.
So if you ask them to interview me,
Okay.
they'll tell you.
So the first interview where you said miscellaneous did this, and you had a long interview with police. Not once did you mention the name Govan, right, in that first
I
interview?
never told them nobody to do this. I never told them nobody to do this. I never said like, I never admitted to doing this or being a part of this or nothing.
I'm just trying to figure out, all the people in the world you could take, you said I met Justin through miscellaneous. Why miscellaneous? How did that come to your
I
mind?
don't even know, no, Mr. Ryan. I'm just being honest, sir.
Okay.
I was under the influence.
Okay. You remember writing letters to your sisters, Kiana Smith and Vanessa Holmes?
Yes, sir.
With regards to your letter to Kiana Smith, I guess you didn't think it was in it. That was dated 3/3/22. That was March 3rd, 22. Remember that? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're basically saying that Angela's lying, LMAO. Angela said she was there, LMAO. She's fucking with my life with her lies. Do you remember all that?
Yeah, I wrote.
If you want to see it, I'm sure to.
I know.